All right, good afternoon and welcome back to the Suburban Rifleman. This is a follow-up video to an episode I posted about 6 months ago. I introduced the Marlin Model 60. I talked about it at some length in that video. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of details. But we ran into some problems when we were filming that last video. Specifically, we were having failures to eject, and nothing was running reliably. I tried a variety of different types of ammo in the rifle, but I posted the video, and I got a lot of responses. I've had a lot of questions about, did I get it fixed? How did I get it fixed? And I got a lot of suggestions, all sorts of different possibilities as to why the rifle wasn't working correctly. But by far, the number one suggestion I got was to research the so-called nickel trick and use that to make sure that my ejector spring was correctly adjusted. And just a brief, sort of how-to on how this works. The ejector, the standing ejector in a Model 60, is a piece of spring wire, and it's the tail of the mousetrap spring that powers the hammer. So it serves two different purposes. But if the rifle is assembled incorrectly, if you don't lock the bolt back when you put the gun back together, you can end up smashing that ejector down flat, and it'll be out of spec, and it won't catch the rim of the cartridges as the bolt is extracting them, and the cartridges won't eject. So I have performed the nickel trick. I'm not going to go into the details on that. There's several good videos here on YouTube. There's some good write-ups online on how to perform the nickel trick. Basically, you're using a nickel and a penny as gauges to gauge the angle of that ejector spring, both in the x-axis and in the z-axis. I think my ejector did appear to be out of spec, and I did adjust it, and I believe it's right where it needs to be now. So we're going to go ahead and shoot the rifle and see if, in fact, the nickel trick solved our problem. And to do that, I've brought a selection of different ammo. I have Winchester bulk pack high velocity hollow points, Winchester Super X. These and Federal's bulk pack high velocity hollow points seem to be the most reliable. They're cheap, they're good quality, and they're the most reliable in most auto loading 22 firearms. I've got some CCI Mini Group. This is old standard velocity ammo, also very good quality. And then to test whether or not the rifle is really functional, I've got some not so great ammo. I've got some Vostok target ammo that was made in the USSR. That'll give you an idea of how old it is. It's actually marked made in USSR. And then I have some of the worst 22 rimfire ammo out there. This is also made in Russia, post-Soviet era. This is marked made in Russia. This is Russian Junior sport hunting, and this was made at the Klimovsk. This was made at the Klimovsk stamping plant in Klimovsk, Russia. And this stuff actually is pretty surefire, but it is dirty and nasty and relatively inaccurate and inconsistent. And it's a good, if the rifle will function with this stuff, it'll function with anything. So I'm going to go ahead and load, and we'll start off with sort of the gold standard, which is this Winchester bulk pack high velocity hollow point, and see how the rifle functions with that. So I went ahead and loaded 10 rounds of the Winchester high velocity hollow point bulk pack. Again, this is cheap ammo, but it tends to function more reliably than pretty much any other rimfire ammo in an auto-loading firearm. So let's go ahead and take 10 shots. Keep in mind, when I posted the last video, I couldn't get through more than about 3 or 4 shots without failures to eject. So keep your fingers crossed. Okay, take two. So far, not so good. I didn't have a failure to eject, but I did have a failure to feed. So let's try again.
It's jammed. I can see it. Bolt's open.
All right. This may be an ammunition problem. All right, so we're no longer having failures to eject, but we are having failures to feed. So perhaps the rifle doesn't like this hollow point ammo. I'm going to reload with some of the CCI mini group and see if we have any better luck with that. Okay, so we no longer seem to be having failures to eject. So maybe the nickel trick worked, but I can't get it to feed more than one round at a time. So we've discontinued use of the Winchester high-velocity hollow points, which made a liar out of me. Or maybe they did. And I've now switched over to these CCI mini groups. These are a standard velocity cartridge with a round nose bullet. So maybe these will feed better. Maybe we'll actually get the rifle to operate reliably for the first time in its life. Let's find out. That's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I guess it just doesn't like this particular brand of hollow point ammunition. But so far with round noses, we've got perfect reliability. Now I'm going to switch over to some really crappy 22. This is round nose, and we'll see if it'll function with that. All right, so mixed results. No good with the Winchester high-velocity hollow points. Feeding problems. It does appear to be ejecting correctly, as you just saw. These CCI mini groups ran through the rifle just fine, actually perfectly. So now we're going to try the infamous Russian Juniors from the Klimovsk stamping plant. These are generally pretty terrible ammo. So let's see how they do. Not too good, apparently. Oh, didn't pick a new one up. Still didn't pick a new one up. How many times can you dry fire your rim fire in a row? I don't know why I expected anything other than that from these juniors. Take two with the crappy Russian juniors. Nope. So it almost kind of runs with those. So I don't know what this experiment proved. We've got We actually have reliability now with exactly one load. I couldn't get it to function with any loads before, so we're making progress, but apparently we've still got a ways to go. If I get this sorted out a little bit better, I will be back again, and when I do that, I hope to see you here then. Later, guys.